to day 3, and today is a practical where we're going to make some flower sticks. Now here is a flower stick. It consists of 2 hand sticks and 1 flower stick that's got tassels on the end. Now most of you will not have these at home, which is why we're going to have a go at making them. But once you make them, you can have lots of fun playing with them and doing lots of fun stuff like that. So let's adjust the camera angle, and you can now see my desk. And we'll go down a bit more. And of course, to start with, it's good to have a cup of tea. So cheers. So once you have had your cup of tea, what you need to get is some newspaper, or sheets of A4 paper will do nicely as well. And we're going to start with making the hand sticks. So what you need to do is to get say a sheet of A4, and we're going to roll it up really tight. Now when you try to roll things up, it's a bit tricky to get going. I normally put in a simple fold like that initially, and then I try to get it, put another one in, a second one in, and then at that point I then try to roll it. I'm going to roll it up, and I want to make it as tight as possible, which is why it's tricky. If you've got a better method for doing it, then that's fine. It's just the tighter we get it, the stronger the stick will be. Okay. And once you've got it to there, that's great. I often at this point will put on an elastic band just to stop it unraveling. You don't need to do that for them if you don't want to. Just to stop it unraveling, I grab some sellotape. Hopefully you'll have some tape somewhere. And then of course you spend some time finding the end of the sellotape, and because this is a demonstration, it's hard to find the end. So let's get some sellotape. I'm going to use some scissors to cut it. There we are. Put the sellotape there and cut a little strip. And I'm going to sellotape it up like that to get it going, and then put the rest down the line. Now to get the best fit, a whole strip of sellotape from one end to the other is the best way to go, because if you leave the paper sticking out like that, you might get a paper cut, and it will stop the rolling of the flower stick smoothly down it. So let's get a little bit more. I didn't quite have enough there. Excellent. So you need to make 2 of those. Okay. So I'll put that to one side for a minute. And once you've made 2 of those, we then need to make the flower stick. So to make the flower stick, first get a piece of newspaper, the press or wherever, it doesn't matter, and get a double sheet, keep it folded double, and then again I'm going to start off by doing a little fold at the top as narrow as possible, another one, and then I can start rolling it. You can experiment if you have some long items, for example like a metal rod. You can try sticking that in and giving it, that might help you roll it. Or I have tried with a piece of bamboo, but you tend to not get a very tight roll then. So often just going this way, where you fold it initially and then get it going, works better. And often when you do this, as you can see on my case, it goes a bit wonky, but that's okay. Because if it goes wonky, we can just tap it down so that we straighten it out so it's nice and even. Can you see that? Relatively even now. And then again, we need a bit of sellotape. So let's get the sellotape. Just stick it together. And cut a piece. Cut a second piece. And this time I'm just going to put one at one end and one at the other end. If you find when you first do this that this is unraveled and it's really floppy, it's probably worth starting again and trying to roll it tighter. Okay, so there we are, we've got this like that. Then we get another sheet of newspaper. There we are, double sheet. And this time we are going to remember what I'm doing. We're going to have it completely unfolded, and we're going to roll the next sheet using the first one that we've just made. Okay, and which is why it's doubly important to have this nice and tight. Okay, so this has the effect that it'll give the our flower stick a bit more weight, which is useful. It's very good. And again, try to make sure you do this nice and tightly. And it's we want the central bit that's inside centrally in the piece of paper. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but we need to do that. And again, if it goes a bit weird, you can tap it down. That's not too bad, could be better. In fact, it's not very good at all, so I'm going to do it on again. So let's try this again. So have this in the center, you can see, and let's see if I can get this a bit even this time, a bit better. Oh, that's much better. Just care, just need to do it with care. Once you get to this point, you can see I'm not letting go of this time. We need another piece of sellotape, and of course, if you pre-prepare all your sellotape so it's ready to grab, then that makes life a lot easier rather than having to fiddle with it. Or if you have an assistant, like a parent or brother or sister lurking, they can help at this stage. And again, we want a reasonably long stretch. I'm going to keep that in my hand while I cut the sellotape, and then I'm going to apply the sellotape to the middle. Okay, so it's definitely easy if you have two people doing this. Okay, so at this point, if you remember what my shop bought flower stick looks like, it's got these tassels at the end. So we're going to make those tassels. So if this has happened nicely, you've got a central bit, a central reinforced rod there, but floppy bits here. This enables you to put a pair of scissors in and cut. You want to just cut a reasonable sort of scissor length, but not stopping before you reach the end of the inner tube. And I'm doing these at approximately, well, I'll say it's about 1/2 centimetre width. Okay, narrower works better. I think you get a better effect if you make them these strips too wide, then they don't spin out nicely. So what we're doing here is creating all those tassels on the end of a flower stick. And I'm nearly all the way around now. That's one end done, and let's cut the other end. And of course, if you're not particularly good on with scissors, you can always ask an adult for help. Also, I'm a bit bigger than you. Ooh, I've just cut a few tassels off there by mistake. That happens occasionally, so don't worry about that. And probably one last one. Okay, good. So now you can see if I spin this, the tassels spin out, which is exactly what I want. You may want to actually help them come out if you want. Okay, so let's move it around the camera and let's see what it's like. So when finished, you should have a flower stick and 2 hand sticks, and then you can start to try it out. You might want to have a go actually trying this out before you put the longer bit of tassel-y bit on. But I'll teach them some tricks tomorrow, okay? So for the minute, I want you to have a go at making these. So just to summarize, we have a sheet of A4 paper, or it could be newspaper, that we use to make the hand sticks with, trying to keep it nice and tight, and sellotape all along the edge so we don't get paper cuts. Do 2 of those, and then we make we start with the inner tube of this flower stick first, and then we use that to roll another layer around it, and then we cut some tassels in, and that's it. So have a go at making that. It gives you a whole 24 hours, whole day, before we then have a go at learning some tricks using these flower sticks. Okay, so have fun making that. Bye.